So we've arrived.
JFK, we're here.
When were you last here?
15 years ago, last time I was in New York.
Did you ever have anxiety around flying?
I did when I was suffering from anxiety, yeah, I did. That when the doors just first close, that sense of panic and dread that you're locked in. But
and
when you have the tools, when you're applying the tools.
Did you apply the tools on the flight?
Not this one, no, didn't need to. But when you need to, they're there for you, and it does make a difference.
You know, I'm currently 34 years old, living in Manhattan, moved from California. I spent most of my life growing up there, and I'm working in sales and technology.
Todd. Hey.
Very.
Great to meet you.
You too.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming here.
Absolutely.
So Todd, tell us about that first panic attack.
My first panic attack. Yeah. My first panic attack was something that really took me by surprise. It was pretty embarrassing for me at the time, to be honest. I was taking a flight from LA to New York City to visit my aunt when I was 18. As I was waiting in the airport to get on, I just felt like just not sure about things. I just felt a little bit off. And once we had boarded the plane, they shut the door and we went on to the runway, I felt like this just increasing sense of uncomfortability. Just my heart rate started getting elevated. I started just hyperventilating a bit, and I felt like I had to get off the plane, and I didn't know why, but I just didn't feel well. So I actually ended up pushing the button for the flight attendant to come and talk to me in my seat, and I ended up telling her, you know, I'm really sorry. I'm not really sure what's going on with me right now, but I just feel like I gotta get off this plane because I don't feel well. And so she reached out to the pilot, and they said, they're paging all the people on the plane. He said, unfortunately, we have a passenger here who is not feeling well, and we're going to have to turn around to let them off at the airport. Now that we have to turn the plane around to board back at the airport to get off the plane, and how bad I felt and embarrassed for everybody on there who's going to think all this stuff about me and get irritated that they're screwing up their flights. But the feelings and fear and panic was so high, that was all I could really focus on. So to go back to the airport, I go to stand up and walk off the plane, and as I'm getting off, it's like every single person's head seated down as I'm walking from the back of the plane to the front is just staring at me, watching me slowly get off. And it's just an image I've always had in my head since then that I can't forget that memory. Looking back now, it's kind of funny, but at the time it was absolutely terrifying.
So tell me, Todd, how bad did it get with your anxiety?
Oh man, it was so bad that I just sometimes had to get through a day, minute by minute. It just disrupted every aspect of my life, because if I'm not feeling well internally, then everything I do on a day-to-day basis is impacted. It was just really difficult to get through the day. And then moments where it would become a full-blown panic attack. And that would happen just sporadically at the most random of times, you know. It could be I wake up in the middle of the night with a panic attack, or I'm just going about my day, I'm at work, I have a panic attack, and I just have to just get through it. It also made traveling difficult because I was nervous about being far away in a place that I wasn't familiar if I have a panic attack, and the uncomfortability around that. And I also had OCD. I had obsessive compulsive disorder, so I had a lot of obsessive thinking and compulsions I was doing mentally to try to relieve this doubt and insecurity that the anxiety was producing in me. You know, a lot of these racing thoughts or intrusive thoughts, and I couldn't get that sense of peace. I couldn't get any sense of relief from this dread and anxiety that I constantly carried.
So what is it that helped you step out of that fear cycle?
Yeah, you know, at first it was supposed to be the medications that I was on from a psychiatrist, but it really didn't do anything for me. I still had episodes regardless, so I got desperate and I looked online for other answers. And that's when I came across the DARE program, and I wanted to know more about it, so I just went on the website and checked out the program and signed up. And from there, I finally found something I could use to have a different approach to deal with and try to recover from my anxiety.
So how would you describe yourself compared to the person you were and the person you are now?
You know, once I developed that anxiety condition, I felt like a shadow of my former self because I had so much restrictions and limitations that I had all of a sudden placed on my life. I didn't think I was gonna feel normal again. I didn't know what feeling like a normal person would be like anymore because I was for so long in this completely different experience that very few people could understand or relate to, that I just couldn't see my way out of it. And having to accept that I could be like that for the rest of my life put me into a really dark place. But, you know, finding DARE and that there was other methods I could use and everything that I learned in the program, that's what really helped me to gain hope and that there was a way out of this.
And you connected with other members in the community, and I believe we're going to meet one of them today as well, Marc.
That's right, yeah. Through the forums, I met a lot of amazing people, and I made a great friendship with my friend Marc, and I got the chance to meet him when I moved to New York City, and it's been, you know, an amazing friendship since then.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Great to see you.
Nice to see you. What's up, Todd?
See you.
So you two know each other well, obviously.
Yeah. About 12 years, long time.
You connect with other people as well. And now, what would you say to people who suffer from anxiety? You know, what advice would you give them? Maybe Marc, you could start off. If you met somebody stuck in that loop, that fear of fear.
Yeah, well, I would just say that there's actually hope for you to live a really fulfilled life, because when I first got my diagnosis of general anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and agoraphobia, I met with a psychiatrist who said, if you meet with me 3 times a week and you take these medications and we do these really intensive services, we can manage your symptoms. And that was one of the most depressing things I had ever heard. So I wished that I had somebody to tell me, like, hey, you can actually get better from this. There's people who have, and it can get to a point where, just like what I learned in the program, it's something that you carry with you, but you carry it with you like on your back, instead of it being this big thing that's standing in front of you as an obstacle to get you from where you're trying to go.
You know, when I first got the diagnosis, at the time I was told this was a chemical imbalance and this was just the way it was for the rest of my life, and I had a really difficult time accepting that. But finding panic away and these different tools and strategies that I could use through mindfulness, CBT therapy, having that radical acceptance, everything that we learned about in the program, that gave me hope that there is a future where I can live and not have this disorder being such a major impact in my life. And I think anybody, no matter where they're at, they can fully recover. I fully recovered. I was on many medications. I got off all of them, and I go all over the planet, and I don't have anxiety problems anymore. So there's no limitation except the ones we really place on ourselves, but it's hard to see that when you're in the middle of it. You just have to trust the process.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually in Rome and Tokyo this year.
Were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in Italy, Greece, Korea, and Japan.
Wow.
So yeah, I kind of got my passport updated, and I was like, I gotta go like see the rest of the world.
Yeah.
In a world where anxiety silently devastates lives, I'm Barry McDonagh, creator of DARE, the self-help program that has empowered hundreds of thousands worldwide to escape the grip of panic and anxiety. In this series, I'm in the US to meet 10 brave people to talk about their greatest fears.
I've got all that adrenaline.
Don't fear for your life, I'm a good driver actually.
I don't want to be known as the guy that hurt you.
And how they dared to win back their freedom.
No!